that wasn't enough. Jefferson took 2 unofficial visits last weekend. Friday to Knoxville, he was in Tennessee for a last look. And then Saturday, it was Tuscaloosa for one more meeting with Nick Saban in Alabama. Jefferson's been narrowing his list throughout the offseason leading up to today's big decision. Guys in the comments, let me know right now. Will it be Alabama? Will it be Georgia? Or will it be Tennessee? We're going to get to Jefferson here in about 2 or 3 minutes. We're going to get there, I promise. But earlier this week, I spoke with Director of Scouting and Ranking Charles Power. I wanted to get his opinion on Amari Jefferson as a prospect.
When Amari Jefferson first came on our radar, he was actually committed to Tennessee for baseball. Had a huge junior season on the football field at Baylor School in Chattanooga. Over 1,300 yards, 17 touchdowns. And really blew up as a true national football recruit in the fall of 2022. I think with Amari Jefferson, you have to start off with his ability after the catch. He's arguably the best or one of the best receivers with the ball in his hands in the 2024 cycle. A guy who makes defenders miss. He runs with great tempo. He's got a compact build at between 5'11", 6 foot, around 200 pounds. So really kind of becomes a running back with the ball in his hands. But this is a guy who can do everything as a receiver. He's a good route runner, tracks the ball over his shoulder, very productive against tough competition. So Amari Jefferson brings a lot to the table, and it's easy to see why he was so highly coveted by top programs.
All right, Charles Power, thank you very much. Now, before we get to the big commitment, let's check in on a few national recruiting headlines that are taking place right now. 5-star edge Colin Simmons, the #1 edge in America, has set his commitment date. It's going to be August 10th right here on the On3 YouTube page. Now, Colin Simmons is down to a final 3 that includes LSU, Texas, and Miami. Now, next Thursday, he'll let the world know where he's going. All right, the #1 defensive lineman in America, Williams Nwaneri, he cuts his list and also sets a commitment date. August 14th is when we'll hear from him. Will it be Missouri, Georgia, Tennessee, Oregon, or Oklahoma for the 5-star defensive lineman? Boise trending over Michigan right now for Gatlin Bear, a top 50 wide receiver. He's going to be announcing his commitment later this evening. Would it be Boise State's biggest pickup of the cycle if they can beat out Michigan for him? Speaking of commitments, we got more coming. And what I mean by we is the On3 YouTube page. August 5th, that's today, in just about 3.5 hours, KJ Bolden will be here live. Ohio State, Alabama, Auburn, Florida State, and Georgia all battling it out for his commitment. We're going to find out here shortly, but today we are here for Amari Jefferson. And before we get to Amari, let's take a quick look at those top 10 rankings. Dogs on top, Ohio State, Florida, Alabama, and Florida State round out the top 5. Then you got Tennessee, Clemson, Michigan, Penn State, and LSU. Hey, let's see if anything changes on these top 10 rankings by the end of the show. Jefferson's commitment could have an impact here. So we're all here today. Will it be the home state Volunteers? Is it going to be Georgia or Alabama for 4-star wideout Amari Jefferson? 5'11.5", 200 pounds out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Right now, let's bring on Director of Recruiting for On3, Chad Simmons. Chad, here we are just moments away from hearing from Amari Jefferson. Break down these finalists for us.
Yeah, Josh, I think obviously the 3 schools, the common factor here, SEC programs, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee. I think Georgia and Tennessee got a jump start on Alabama, obviously offering about a year ago. Got him on campus multiple times last season for games in the fall. Alabama got Jefferson on campus back in March, offered him on that junior day visit, and have kind of become a factor, ever since, making this a 3-team race into the OVs, like you mentioned, in June, and then the 2 unofficials this past weekend. So obviously 3 SEC programs relatively close to home as well, and all 3 have built strong relationships with him and his family, laid their plan out for him, and he'll pick one of these 3 schools here shortly.
Yeah, we're going to hear from him in a minute. Does Amari plan on being a 2-sport star in college? How much does baseball factor into this decision?
Well, he enters today in this commitment day from a football perspective as a Tennessee baseball commitment. So I think that shows alone, how strong and how serious he is about baseball. I think every time he took a visit a football visit, he would also look at baseball in that program as well. He's met the different coaches from Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee on both the football and baseball side of things. That will play a factor. I think if you would have asked Amari a couple of years ago, I think baseball was first on his list. I think over the last 18 to 24 months, football's become that number one for him, and that he'll play football first and try to at least squeeze in baseball for at least the first year to see how it works as a two-sport athlete in college. So I do think baseball will factor in, but I do think football will play the bigger role.
What do you make of Amari taking those last two final unofficial visits to Alabama and Tennessee? Do you think heading into this week, Georgia maybe had a little work to do on the outside looking in a bit?
Yeah, if you rewind, 4, 5, 6 months ago, I probably would have told you Georgia, what maybe had the edge, was the favorite to land Jefferson. I think as the summer played out and he took the OVs to those schools, I think it came out where maybe Georgia was trailing a little bit. And I think he had an idea, I think Amari did, where he wanted to go coming out of the officials in June, but I think he wanted to take one more look at both Tennessee on Friday and then Alabama on Saturday, just to make 100% sure he was comfortable and confident on who he picked today.
All right, we're about ready to go to Chattanooga, Tennessee, where Amari Jefferson is getting set up and ready to announce. Also, be sure to follow him on both Instagram and Twitter. Amari Jefferson, 4-star wide receiver, down to a final 3 of Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. Take a look at these social handles and be sure to follow along as his career is just about to take off. The number 36 ranked wide receiver in the country and the 208th best player overall. Looks like he's set up. Amari, are you ready? How you feeling today? It's the big announcement.
I'm feeling good, excited.
All right, you narrowed your list down to a final 3. What were some of the determining factors that made these teams your finalists?
Probably just being close to home, and then also like my connection with each staff. And then just like the development piece, and then also academics.
Okay, Amari, say your thank yous and let us know where you'll be going to college.
First off, I would like to give glory and thanks to God for the many blessings He's given me. Though the ride hasn't been easy, He's never put my family and I through things we couldn't handle. Second off, I'd like to thank my coaches and teachers throughout the years who have helped me become a better man both on and off the field. Coach Kimberly, thank you for believing in me and also helping build me into not only a good player, but a better person. My family, thank you for the endless love and support since I was younger. Without it, I wouldn't be the same person I am today. You all know truly how much time I've sacrificed and put into both baseball and football. Layla, Debbie, and Chase, thank you for always bringing a smile on my face and keeping me humble. Lastly, Mom and Dad, a simple thank you isn't enough for all the sacrifices and love you've given me since I can remember. Mom, thank you for always being by my side through the good and bad. I'm very appreciative of all you've done for me, and I can't thank you enough for your endless love and support. You've been a great role model in my life. There's no one I'd rather call Mom. Dad, you sacrificed everything for me to be the best person I can. Every day you show me what it is to be a man of faith and love for his family. You never let things be easy for me, and you have stayed humble or stayed truthful to me, even if you know it wasn't what I wanted to hear. We've been through a lot together, and I know you always have my best interest at heart. And finally, with that being said, I'll be committed to the University of Alabama.
It is Alabama for Amari Jefferson, and the crowd goes crazy. Confetti's falling. This is awesome. Amari, tell me, when did you know it would be Alabama? Oh, we got Amari. Amari, when did you know it would be Alabama? I don't know if the connection's there. Can you hear me, Amari? Crowd might be good. Can you hear me, Amari? All right. When did you know it would be Alabama?
Really my first visit. I came off my first visit and was like, I told my dad I was ready to commit on the spot, and he was like, you gotta wait, see all the options, and I was like, nah, I want to go to them.
When did you inform Coach Saban that you'd be committing?
He actually doesn't know yet, but everybody else does, so I don't know that.
All right. Well, hopefully Nick Saban is tuned in right now. So how big of a part is the baseball component? Do you plan on playing ball at both sports at Alabama?
Yeah, I plan to at least try it my first year, see how things go. Hopefully I can continue to do both, but just at least try it out.
All right. Well, tell Alabama fans what they're getting in wide receiver Amari Jefferson when he steps on campus.
A playmaker, someone that can score from all parts of the field, is going to light up on a scoreboard and bring a lot of excitement to Alabama.
All right. Amari, go enjoy it with your friends, family, teammates. Thank you for committing on the On3 YouTube page, and roll Tide.
Thank you for having me. Roll Tide.
All right, there you have it. Amari Jefferson commits to Alabama over Tennessee, over Alabama, the number 36 ranked player at his position, the 208th best overall. After losing a wide receiver commitment last weekend, Alabama adds Amari Jefferson. They wasted no time. All right, let's bring on Tim Watts of Bama Online. Tim, Saban beats out Kirby Smart and Josh Heupel. What do you think it was that put Alabama over the top here? Oh, unmute yourself, Tim.
I think it was relationships. I think Amari touched on that just now, but we've been hearing the whole time how committed Alabama was. Nick Saban took a special interest in him on every visit. Joe Cox led the way. He paved the way to get him on campus. And, of course, Hallman Wiggins is definitely involved with every wide receiver. But you also heard him talk about Miss Terry. Obviously Nick Saban's wife was heavily involved in just putting forth that effort. And he was a priority. I mean, from early in the process, you could tell how interested they were in him. And obviously it was a little difficult with him being committed to Tennessee to kind of figure out Tennessee for baseball, exactly what was going on. But it didn't take him long to prioritize him.
What type of player can Amari Jefferson be on the next level? Maybe someone that you'd compare his game to.
I like him, overall, because he's a guy you can see inside, outside. He's built like a running back. Charles Power does as good a job of anybody I've ever worked with in over 20 years, and he's got him higher ranked than everybody else. I think eventually people will catch up. I think he's ahead of the curve right now, but he's a running back. You can look at a Randall Cobb, a Debo Samuels, Amari Rogers, guys you've seen, that thick build. But this guy lines up everywhere, outside, inside. You see him on the sweeps. He could be basically used as a running back once the ball's in his hands.
All right, now with Amari Jefferson on the commitment list, what's up with Alabama's wide receiver recruiting for the 24 cycle? Is this it, or are there still more targets on the board?
Well, coming in, they signed 4 last year, led by Jalen Hill, plus the number 1 junior college wide receiver in the country, and Malik Benson. So it wasn't a priority. You never want to skip any year signing a wide receiver. So it was all about quality. They've got the number 1 quarterback in the country committed. They've got, Julian Sayin, and then you look at the guys they've got. Enrico Scott, who's a speedster. I think they'd still look at Perry Thompson, who's flipped to Auburn. Arian Hampton, who committed to Texas. They'll look at those guys, but they're happy with these 2. It has to be a big-time guy for them to go on another receiver in the 24 class, especially with what they've got committed in the 25 group.
All right, Tim. Well, I'm sure that Bama Online message board is popping right now. Go tend to those crazy Alabama fans. Appreciate you stopping through on the live commitment.
Thank you, guys.
See ya. Alabama gets a good one. 4-star wide receiver Amari Jefferson makes it official right here on the On3 YouTube channel, choosing Alabama over Georgia, over Tennessee. Let's take a look at those top 10 rankings again, see if anything changed here. You got Georgia at number 1. You got Ohio State, Florida, Alabama at 4, Florida State at 5. Tennessee, Clemson, Michigan, Penn State, and LSU round out that top 10. Amari Jefferson makes it official. Thank you guys for all tuning in. Do me a favor, if you're still here, hit that subscribe button. Why? Because we got more. This was just the first. Tonight at 7:30 Eastern, we have KJ Bolden. And then tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, we have 4-star running back Nate Frazier out of California announcing his decision on Sunday. Whew, it's going to be busy here. Another live commitment from the On3 studios here in Nashville, Tennessee. We appreciate you all for joining, and congrats to Amari Jefferson, the newest commitment of the Alabama Crimson Tide.